Ronaldo or Messi?
Messi for me.
And
Yeah,
why?
For sure.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi,
Yeah, does he deserve to be called the greatest?
for sure.
Yeah?
Is one better than the other, or are these two simply the very best?
Ronaldo's my boy.
Messi or Ronaldo?
No doubt, is the best player, the best is the squad player, the best forward is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ronaldo's right foot versus Messi's left foot. Which one are you taking?
I will take Ronaldo's right foot.
December 10th, 2022, the World Cup quarterfinal. Argentina against the Netherlands. It's still remembered as one of the nastiest, most emotional matches of the entire tournament. Tempers were boiling all night. Both benches were on the touchline, and by the 88th minute, it had completely spilled over. Players shoving, staff getting involved, everyone shouting at once. And in the middle of that chaos, something strange happened. Virgil van Dijk, the Netherlands captain, the man whose entire job that night was to shut Lionel Messi down, walked straight past his own teammates, found Messi in the crowd, and put a hand on his shoulder. Not to argue with him, not to wind him up. He was shielding him. An opponent, in the heat of a knockout battle, chose to protect Messi from his own side's frustration. Sit with that for a second. If a rival captain shows that kind of instinctive respect in the worst moment of a match, what does that tell you about how Messi's own teammates feel about him? Because the truth is, players like Rodrigo de Paul, Emiliano Martinez, and Leandro Paredes don't just respect Messi, they'd run through a wall for him. Now put Cristiano Ronaldo next to that image. Nobody's saying Ronaldo isn't respected. He is. He's one of the greatest to ever do it, and plenty of his teammates over the years have spoken warmly about him. But the Portugal dressing room has never radiated that same all-in, borderline worshipful devotion the Argentina squad has for Messi. This isn't about which player is better. That's a different debate entirely, and honestly, an exhausting one at this point. This is about something more specific. Why does one superstar get treated like a shared family treasure by his teammates, while the other gets treated like, at best, an incredible colleague? And there are real, specific, traceable reasons for that gap. Reasons that rarely get talked about in the usual GOAT debates, because they have nothing to do with goals, assists, or trophies. They have to do with psychology, culture, and the small human moments that never make the highlight reels. This is Ball Archive. Let's get into it. The first reason comes down to where each of them was raised, football and culture and all. European football, broadly speaking, is built around the collective. Coaches on that continent are trained to think in systems, pressing structures, shape, rotations. The team is the star. Individual brilliance is welcomed, sure, but it's never supposed to outgrow the unit. Growing up in Portugal, kids are taught to admire organization as much as flair. South America runs on a completely different operating system. Individual genius isn't just appreciated there, it's worshipped. The dribbler who can turn a whole stadium silent with one touch, the free spirit who bends a match around his own imagination, that's the figure Latin American football culture builds its mythology around. Diego Maradona wasn't just a great player in Argentina, he was treated like a deity, and Messi inherited that exact same reverence. So when a kid like Julian Alvarez was growing up in Calcín, a town of barely 1,500 people, the man on every television screen wasn't just a very good footballer, he was something closer to untouchable. Enzo Fernandez, Rodrigo de Paul, Lautaro Martinez, none of them watched Messi the way a Portuguese teenager watched a talented winger. They watched him the way you watch a legend. That's why when these players finally walked into the same dressing room as Messi, it wasn't a normal moment for them. It couldn't be. Picture it from their side. You spend your entire childhood watching grainy clips of this one player doing things that shouldn't be physically possible. You grow up hearing your dad and your uncles argue about him at the dinner table. And then one day, you're handed a national team jersey and told to go warm up next to him. That's not a locker room assignment. That's meeting a myth in person. In Argentina, Messi isn't just a teammate. He's closer to a religious figure, a word that keeps coming up around him for a reason. In Portugal, Ronaldo is a great player, arguably the greatest goal scorer the sport has ever produced. Full stop, no asterisk needed. But the emotional charge attached to each name is simply not the same size. And that difference was baked in long before either man ever wore his country's captain's armband. It was baked in during childhood, in front of a television set, thousands of miles away from any stadium.
because he's so good that it's frustrating. It gives you this frustration because he's so good, and you give him the ball and you're just trying to participate in the game, but you're not in the game. You are in Messi's game. So you are playing him and you're there. You're just on the field.
The second reason is about role. What each man actually does on the pitch changes how it feels to play alongside him. Messi is, at his core, a creator. Yes, the goals are there, hundreds of them, but what really defines him is his eye for a pass nobody else on the pitch can even see. He finds gaps in defenses that shouldn't exist. Think about the ball he slipped through for Alexis McAllister. Sorry, for Noel Molina in that 2022 World Cup run. Molina will be telling that story to his grandkids. The pass Messi threaded to Julian Alvarez in the semi-final against Croatia is the kind of moment a player carries with him for the rest of his life. That's the currency Messi trades in. He makes the people around him unforgettable. Ronaldo's gift is different and just as rare. He's arguably the greatest pure finisher the sport has produced. A striker's instincts stitched onto an athlete's body. Someone who's turned scoring into an almost mechanical science over 2 decades. But his entire game is built around Ronaldo scoring. Wingers stretch the pitch to create space for him. Midfielders recycle possession so he can get into shooting position. Fullbacks bomb forward to put crosses on his head. Even his celebrations are built for him. The jump, the turn, the sue, it's not a criticism of his talent. It's just a fact about the system around him. Teammates work for Ronaldo, while teammates work with Messi. One relationship feels like partnership, built on trust and shared decision-making. The other can start to feel, over time, like service. Like your job on the pitch is to set the table for someone else's meal. Think about how that difference plays out over a decade of shared dressing rooms. A player who's constantly on the receiving end of unselfish passes starts to feel like he owes something back. Loyalty, effort, protection. A player who's constantly asked to create chances for someone else without much in return can start to feel more like staff than family. Neither role is wrong, exactly. But only one of them tends to produce the kind of devotion you saw from Van Dijk that night in Qatar. And the generosity runs deeper than passing. Across his time at Barcelona, Messi handed off more than 30 penalties to teammates instead of taking them himself. Neymar picked up around 11 of those gifts. Luis Suarez got 8. With the national team, when Lautaro Martinez was stuck in a scoring drought, Messi simply gave him the ball from the spot. Compare that to a night in February 2010. Real Madrid cruising to a 5-2 win over Villarreal, Ronaldo already on the scoresheet, and a stoppage time penalty awarded. Xabi Alonso, who hadn't scored for the club yet that season, asked Ronaldo for the ball. Ronaldo handed it over, reluctantly, visibly reluctantly, and while the rest of the team celebrated Alonso's goal like it mattered, Ronaldo walked back to the halfway line looking anything but pleased. He's shared the ball plenty of times over his career too, to be fair. No one's saying he's never been generous.
But moments like that one stick in a dressing room's collective memory, and over the course of a career, they add up. They quietly shape how a locker room reads a player's priorities. Does he want us to win, or does he want to be the reason we win? With Messi, teammates never had to ask that question twice.
What's he doing like off the pitch?
Never seen him in the gym. Comes in, gets a massage maybe, and plays basketball. So we come in the dressing room, he's just sitting there with his phone, whatever. Gets a massage sitting down. 2 minutes before we go out, he just stands up, closes his boots, we go out. At the warm-up Champions League against Liverpool. Crossbar challenge, he goes back inside, puts his jacket on, goes out, boom, go, 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 like this.
The third reason is the coach, and specifically how long that coach stuck around. Since 2018, Messi has had exactly one manager with Argentina, Lionel Scaloni. One man, through the Copa America, through the Finalissima, through an entire World Cup cycle. That kind of continuity does something to a squad. Trust compounds. The dressing room starts to feel like family instead of a workplace. And from day one, Scaloni made his hierarchy obvious. Not just in words, but in every tactical decision, every substitution, every post-match interview. Scaloni isn't only Messi's coach. He's openly, unapologetically, Messi's biggest fan. When the man calling the shots looks at a player like that, the rest of the squad picks up on it instantly. Portugal's situation looks stable on paper. Fernando Santos ran the team for 8 years, from 2014 to 2022, and Roberto Martinez has held the job since. So it's not really about turnover, or coaches constantly getting fired. It's about priority, about who the entire tactical identity is built around. No Portugal manager built the entire project around Ronaldo the way Scaloni built his around Messi. and you saw the consequence play out in real time at the 2022 World Cup. Santos dropped Ronaldo to the bench for the last 16 match against Switzerland. Portugal went out and won 6-1. Gonçalo Ramos, barely into his 20s, scored a hat-trick in his place. The message to the entire squad, whether Santos meant to send it or not, was unmistakable. This team can win, and win big, without Ronaldo starting.
Try to picture Scaloni ever doing that with Messi in a knockout match. It's almost unthinkable. Not because Messi is untouchable as a person, but because the entire Argentine project since 2018 has been engineered around keeping him central, comfortable, and trusted. That difference in institutional backing doesn't just affect team sheets. It filters down into the dressing room and shapes how the other 25 players in the squad treat their biggest need, as the foundation the whole house is built on, or as one very good tenant among many. The fourth reason is pain. Specifically, pain the whole squad lived through together. While Ronaldo was collecting silverware, Messi was collecting heartbreak. The 2014 World Cup final lost to Germany in extra time. The 2015 Copa America final lost to Chile on penalties. The 2016 Copa America final lost to Chile again on penalties again. 3 finals, 3 losses. 3 times the cameras caught Messi in tears. Now, put yourself in Julian Alvarez's shoes as a teenager, watching all of that unfold on television, idolizing this man, watching him give absolutely everything on the biggest stages available, and watching him fall short again and again, sometimes by the smallest possible margin. Penalty shootouts, extra time, a single Mario Götze volley in the 113th minute. Every kind of heartbreak football can invent, Messi lived through it in an Argentina shirt. Then one day, you walk into a training session and that same man, the one you watched cry on TV as a kid, the one your whole country mourned alongside, is standing next to you as a teammate, asking how your day was. What does that do to a person? It creates a kind of loyalty you simply can't manufacture through tactics or team bonding exercises. It's the loyalty of someone who's watched their hero get knocked down over and over and has decided, somewhere deep down, that they'd take a bullet before letting it happen again. Emiliano Martinez put it plainly before the 2022 World Cup. He skipped celebrating Messi's birthday that year because the only gift he wanted to give him was the trophy itself. That's not normal admiration. That's loyalty forged by years of shared suffering, finally given a shot at redemption. Ronaldo, meanwhile, won Euro 2016 relatively early in his international career, and did it while actually watching most of the final from the touchline after going off injured. Once that trophy was in the cabinet, the desperate collective hunger just wasn't there for his teammates in the same way it was for Messi's. There was no decade-long open wound left to heal. Shared pain builds a completely different kind of bond than shared success does. Success is nice, but it doesn't tend to make people cry in a huddle or skip birthday celebrations in favor of a bigger gift. And Messi's squad, through no fault of their own, simply had a lot more shared pain to bond over. The final reason is about character. Plain and simple. In 2023, Messi flew to Saudi Arabia for a promotional trip without getting the proper sign-off from PSG first. The club suspended him for 2 weeks. No training, no matches, treated exactly like any other employee who'd broken protocol. Most superstars in that position would go quiet, let an agent issue a bland statement, or just wait it out, banking on the fact that clubs almost always cave when the player is big enough. Messi didn't do any of that. He sat down, looked directly into a camera, and apologized. Clearly, personally, with 0 excuses baked in. He said he'd assumed the trip was already cleared with the club. He admitted he should have double-checked before he left, and he said plainly that he was sorry. That video circulated everywhere, and it wasn't shocking because the mistake itself was so severe. Missing a couple of training sessions isn't exactly a scandal. It was shocking because a player holding 8 Ballon d'Ors, a player who could have every excuse in the world handed to him by people desperate to protect his image, chose instead to sit down and take accountability like any ordinary person who'd messed up at their job. Now hold that up against Ronaldo's exit from Manchester United in 2022. Manager Erik ten Hag asked him to warm up and prepare to come on as a substitute against Tottenham, in a match United still needed something from. Ronaldo refused. He walked down the tunnel and left the stadium entirely before the final whistle had even gone, while his own teammates were still out there playing. Ten Hag suspended him for it, and the story dominated headlines for days,
another chapter in a pattern that had followed Ronaldo through more than one club by that stage of his career. Two moments, side by side. One is a superstar owning a mistake in front of the entire world, no spin, no shield. The other is a superstar rejecting a manager's authority in the middle of a live, competitive match in front of his own teammates who were left to finish the job without him. That contrast, humility on one side, ego on the other, filters straight down into how a dressing room feels about its biggest name, whether anyone ever says it out loud or not. Messi never makes the players around him feel smaller so that he can feel bigger.
That, more than the trophies, more than the goals, more than anything else on this list, might be the real reason his teammates love him the way they do. So when you add it all up, the culture he grew up in, the way he actually plays the game, 8 years under a coach who built the entire project around him, a shared history of heartbreak that eventually turned into shared redemption, and a level of humility that never once made anyone around him feel like a supporting character in his story, you start to understand why that Van Dijk moment in Qatar wasn't really a surprise at all. It wasn't a random act of sportsmanship from a rival captain. It was the visible tip of something that had been building for years, in dressing rooms Van Dijk never even set foot in. None of this is really an argument about who the better footballer is. That conversation will run forever, and honestly, it should. It's part of what makes this sport so much fun to argue about. This is a different question entirely. Why does one legend get treated like family, while another gets treated like royalty? And once you look past the goals and the trophies, and into the culture, the role, the coaching, the shared history, and the character behind it all, the answer stops being a mystery. Respect like that isn't given. It's built, brick by brick, decision by decision. Over years, nobody was watching as closely as they watched the final score. This has been Ball Archive.
If you enjoyed this breakdown, there's a lot more where it came from. Deep dives into the stories, the psychology, and the untold history behind the players and moments you think you already know. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.